Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Okay, in January 2023, I released an episode. The episode was titled "Growing Babies: The World's First Artificial Womb," and it's about a company, Ectolife. I'm going to read for you the description that I wrote up. It says, "Just because you know how to do something does not mean it is the wise thing to do." Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, is offering a safer way for babies to be born by growing the baby in an artificial womb. If you have the money, you can also participate in the elite program. What's the elite program, you ask? Well, design your baby to stand out from the rest. Pick the eye color, skin tone, height, strength, intelligence. Also, your child stands out from the crowd. What could possibly go wrong? The thing is, now I rewatched the episode because I'm like, what am I doing here? Because I was trying to work out this episode. So I thought, I'm going to go back and go over this episode. At the time, I think I look at what Ectolife was doing. A couple of things that stood out. I made some comments on how their little promo video reminded me of the Matrix. In the Matrix, you have all those chambers, and you have the all the people with the tubes in them. They're all living in that liquid substance, and it's feeding them or whatever. And it's very weird. And the machines, I think, are living off the humans. Yuck. Anyway, so I'm looking at the promo video that Ectolife had put out, and I thought I kept making comments about how it reminded me of The Matrix. But at the time, my I look back and think, well, I thought I did not think I was this naive, but obviously, I mean, you think something is this can take you on the slippery slope. If you go down this path, well, then you're going to accept it and you're going to go down a different path and just keep allowing the morality to keep slipping. Ethics keep sliding, sliding, and sliding. And until I read this article, until I saw a report and read this article, I'm going to go through at least one. I read this article the other day. This actually came out in March. I don't think I had uh, maybe I didn't think humans would think in this way. I thought, okay, this is going to take us down. If they keep going down this path, this is going to be weird. Okay, I thought everyone was just talking about growing babies for families because that's the way it was advertised. Let's just grow babies for families that they've got their uterus. The woman has got no uterus for one reason or another. We can grow the baby for you in this artificial womb. Sounds lovely. Yeah, but no, someone else, a couple of other scientists, they've decided, well, we've got some other things that we could use this for, don't we? A couple of other things. How about we just start growing some humans? Um, Maybe we won't grow their brains, but we'll just grow them, and we can harvest the bodies for spare organs. This is from MIT Technology Review. Now, I encourage you. Okay, I'm going to put the link up. I'll put a thumbnail up so you can find the previous video I did in 2023. I'll put a link up I'll put a link up for the YouTube video. And if you want to watch it or listen to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can look for that title. The title: "Growing Babies: The World's First Artificial Womb." But let's check this out. Spare living human bodies might provide us with organs for transplantation. Yeah, okay. go through this quick. This week, this is like I said, written in March. So this week, MIT Technology Review published a piece on bodyoids, living bodies that cannot think or feel pain. In the piece, a trio of experts. Don't you love it when the experts get in there and tell us? Of course, these experts never seem to have any moral qualms. Their ethics are right out the door, but they're experts apparently. So, a trio of experts argue that advances in biotechnology will soon allow us to create spare human bodies that could be used for research or to provide organs for donation. Nice little way to look at, yeah. If you find your skin crawling at this point, you're not the only one. It's a creepy idea straight from the more horrible corners of science fiction. But bodyoids could be used for good. You have the moral quandary, you have the ethics dilemma, but they always put, well, it could be used for good. There's a little bit of good there to be had, apparently. And if they are truly unaware, as in the bodies, unaware and unable to think, the use of bodyoids wouldn't cross most, in quotation marks, most people's ethical lines. The authors argue. Yeah, I don't reckon. Either way, there's no doubt that developments in science and biotechnology are bringing us closer to the potential reality of bodyoids. One of the main arguments made for bodyoids is that they could provide spare human organs. There's a huge shortage of organs for transplantation. Except if you're a billionaire, maybe. More than 100,000 people in the US are waiting for a transplant, and 17 people on that waiting list die every day. Human bodyoids could serve as a new source. Scientists are working on other potential solutions to this problem. One approach is the use of gene edited animal organs. Animal organs don't typically last inside human bodies. Our immune system will reject them as foreign, but a few companies are creating pigs with a series of gene edits. I think I spoke about this too in a different episode about the CRISPR and how they're editing, creating little hybrids of humans and animals. And they tell us that these embryos are destroyed within before 20 weeks. But lo and behold, some of these labs where they're testing are actually done in China, and no one really knows. No one really knows what's going on. But just trust them. The embryos of these freak shows are definitely destroyed. So, a handful of living people have received gene edited pig organs. Okay, Tawana Looney, great. The third living person to receive a gene edited pig kidney has been doing well. She had her transplant surgery in late November of last year. Okay, so at least one company is taking more of a bodyoid like approach. Renewal Bio, a biotech company based in Israel, hopes to grow embryo stage versions of people. Yes, of course, it's just an embryo stage for replacement organs. Their approach is based on advances in the development of synthetic embryos. Embryos start with the union of an egg cell and a sperm cell, but scientists have been working on ways to make embryos using stem cells instead. Under the right conditions, these cells can divide into structures that look like a typical embryo. Scientists don't know how far these embryo-like structures will be able to develop. I love the way they put it, embryo-like structures. We don't want you to think of them as, kind of a human or anything. And no one really knows how to think about synthetic human embryos. Scientists don't even really know what to call them. Rules stipulate that typical human embryos may be grown in the lab for a maximum of 14 days. That's the rules. Of course, if you're in a lab in China and no one's really monitoring, the rules go out the door, some might say. Should the same rules apply to synthetic ones? Okay, so here is the actual MIT Technology Review article. Ethically sourced spare human bodies could revolutionize medicine. It's going to revolutionize medicine. Don't worry about the ethics. Don't worry about the morals. Don't worry about anything. Just Trust us, we're the experts. Why do we hear about medical breakthroughs in mice but rarely see them? It may be disturbing to characterize human bodies in such commodifying terms, but the unavoidable reality is that human biological materials are an essential commodity in medicine, and persistent shortages of these materials create a major bottleneck to progress. The imbalance between supply and demand is the underlying cause of the organ shortage crisis. There might be a way to get out of this moral and scientific deadlock. Recent advances in biotechnology now provide a pathway to producing living human bodies without the neural components that allow us to think, be aware, or feel pain. They will grow the body, I don't know what, without the brain, without this they will grow a body, but it won't be a sentient being. Is that what they're saying? Many will find this possibility disturbing, really. But if researchers and policymakers can find a way to pull these technologies together, we may one day be able to create spare bodies, both humans and non human. These could revolutionize medical research and drug development, greatly reducing the need for animal testing, protect the animals, rescuing many people from organ transplant lists and allowing us to produce more effective drugs and treatments, all without crossing most people's ethical lines. So they talk about what bodyoids, growing these human forms, but they won't be able to feel pain. They won't really know anything. Imagine something like a human body, but without a head, or maybe it's just got a head but doesn't have a brain in it, something like that. Also, you can harvest the organs. Like I said, when I did the episode in 2023, it was actually, I think I recorded it in 2022 December, released it in 2023 January. I didn't think that this is the kind of road that scientists would be going down in a mere 2 years. And in fact, what I think is that for starters, the company that was growing these babies for people, I think there's probably a good chance that they've actually done it already and grown these babies in the tubes and released them into the wild. Let's put it that way. And there's probably a good chance if they're releasing this information and talking about it now openly and just saying, well, what if we could? There's a flipping good chance that they've already done it. They are doing it. They're just putting it out there now. They're already testing. They're already doing these things. Like I said, when it comes to like the the restrictions they put on the embryos they grow, which are a mixture of animals and humans. They put all these rules in place, but then they say, well, all these rules are in place, and if you're in Australia or if you're in America, you have to abide by those rules. Oh, but if you have a company and your lab is just based in China, what do you know? What do you know? You don't have to obey those rules, or you still have to obey these rules, but no one's actually going to be monitoring. If you do you actually destroy the embryo, chimera, I believe is what it's called, these chimera embryos. This is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I can't believe these people. It I cannot believe these so-called scientists are discussing it openly and putting it out there as if this is something that we should all be considering. Just creating these bodyoids for spare parts. Little Adam's got a little liver disease, but it's all right. We've got a second Adam sitting over here in the freezer. We can just harvest his liver. It's all good. Let me know what you think. Absolutely disturbing and disgusting. Um, Somehow I am not surprised. I'm not surprised, but I'm just disgusted. I've got to know what you think. This is just feral. Like I said, I'll put up the video for the other things that I was talking about, that ectolife that was looking at growing babies, just doing what's good, just helping out families who can't grow a child in the womb. Just that's all. But apparently that's not enough. Not now they just want to grow spare parts. Let me know what you think. You reckon they've already done it? I reckon they're already doing it. All this is well, I'm reading this, and part of this is my opinion. This is freaky stuff. I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
They just fuel a desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna stop me now. No more deals to be done. No nothing's gonna focus on me goal. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna hold me down. Got my eye on the prize. Got my eye on